There has been a new interior design trend that has just been blowing up on TikTok. And with new trends comes new opportunities. While clean, bright, and modern used to be all the rage, in the last few months, I've seen this new turn for interior design for more moody. It's much darker than the current light aesthetic. It's got a lot of deep greens, a lot of woods, and the most important thing I've noticed in every single one of these photos of this moody aesthetic is these vintage looking frames and wall art. And wall art is one of the most commonly sold things on Etsy, but as digital downloads. And not many people know how to create, and they don't offer you to order these with frames, especially not these types of beautiful vintage ornate frames that we're seeing that go with this aesthetic. So today I'm going to show you proof that these work, how you can create them yourselves, how we can make the art using AI, and how we can automate all of the production so we never have to actually print and ship these ourselves. While there are so many stores out there offering the digital download version of these, there are very, very few letting you actually print these, and especially on just different frames. There's this store here that offers wooden frames, but this still isn't exactly the type of aesthetic that I'm going for. They do use mock-ups that still fit in this moody vibe, so these could be bought for those people going for the moody aesthetic, but we can go deeper, and I haven't found a store offering this yet, and I highly believe that there is a need for it. Because using Google, I can see the trend for moody design style keywords on Google has gone up for things like moody room design. You can also see this very, very recent increase in searches. And same thing for the keyword moody room. We, over the last 5 years, are seeing a major increase in overall searches for this interior design style. And you cannot do this moody type of design style without the vintage frames. Just look up moody aesthetic / dark academia aesthetic. You will see a high emphasis on these wall art frames. But sourcing these is a little difficult. It took me a while to find this site, and while I usually use Printify for all my print-on-demand products, they unfortunately didn't have the frames that kind of fit this aesthetic. So I'm going to be showing you a brand new supplier. This supplier is called Print Seekers, and if you scroll down, they have a high emphasis on wall art. So they have different canvas, frame canvas, posters, but the ones that catch my attention are here, the framed posters. So we have some wood ones if we want to offer those, but these are the ones that fit this aesthetic perfectly. And they have a few different ones. We have the retro gold frame matte, we have this bronze frame matte, golden modern frame, vintage gold frame. Look at the detailing on how beautiful that is. And underneath we can see the pricing, what it starts at. So it starts at about $14.90 US for the smaller size frames, 8x8, which is incredible. If you've ever bought frames before, not even with the art inside, just the frames, they're extremely expensive. In fact, this person who's been selling the wood versions of these is selling them starting at $64.80 US for the small size. For the larger sizes, these go up to $206, meaning this is an extremely highly profitable product, which the digital downloads just aren't. So for these, I just opened one of my favorite ones just because, again, look at the detailing on this. It's going to be very hard for you to find frames that are affordable with this type of detailing in them. And you're also able to use some of their photos here for your Etsy photos. So you can grab these to help people pick which frame they would like. And scrolling down, taking a look at the pricing, you're going to find them extremely affordable. And I am not affiliated with Print Seekers at all. I did not have contact with them before this video. This isn't sponsored. I was just so excited to find this that I really wanted to share it with people because I don't have the time to work on this project. I've started way too many projects, but I really do think it's something that could be successful. So coming down, just taking a look at these, you saw that one person was selling their highest size wood frame, which is not this ornate detail frame, for $206. Their most expensive one, which is larger than that, is $115.70, and they come in a bunch of different ratios, so it depends how you are creating your art designs and how you want to size them. The downside to these is the expensive shipping costs here, but once you add the product cost plus the shipping cost, it's still less than what a lot of people are selling these for on Etsy, and you can still make quite a bit of profit. You can also charge your customers shipping. I would bake some of it into your product cost so that people aren't scared off by the $20 shipping. Maybe do like half or 25% as a shipping cost, and then bake in the other cost to the product pricing, and you can still make a very, very good profit on these. But now, how are you gonna make the art for these? To do this, we're gonna use AI. And so you're gonna go download Midjourney and set it up in Discord, and then I'll meet you over there. So once you have Midjourney set up, in my last AI video, which I will link up next, I did do the full tutorial on how to get your own Midjourney onto Discord and how to create a private room with them. But once you have all of this set up, into the text box, you are going to type dash imagine, and then you're gonna write in your prompt. And a prompt that I have found that works really well is moody oil painting, comma, muted colors, comma, whatever your subject, flower, field, with brush strokes that it looks like a real painting. Then I put dash dash AR, which is aspect ratio. And for this, we got the aspect ratio. There was a bunch of different aspect ratios that print seekers gave us. I'm going with the 4:3 one. So I'm gonna type that in. And then SS250, you can just remove that. It's actually set up in your settings. It's probably going to automatically attach it on here, but I'm going to hit return, and then let's see what results this gives us. So here are the results that got me. I have these 4 options here. I changed it up a little bit because I wanted a darker background, so I put roses on a black background. And here's some more results we got. And I actually really, really like this top one here. So I'm gonna hit U1, which means upscale the first image. If I hit V1, it's gonna give me 4 new variations of that first image. If I hit V2, it's gonna give me variations of the second image. But I like this one as is, so I'm gonna hit U1, and then it's gonna give me a bigger version of that file. But because we are printing it, I do wanna make sure this is as high quality as possible. So I'm actually going to hit upscale, and then we're gonna get a higher resolution version of this photo so that we can print it. Once this is upscaled, I'm gonna click on it, I'm gonna hit open in browser, and then we're gonna save this image into our files. And now this is the file that we're gonna print. But we need some images of this photo so we can actually market our listing on Etsy. So coming back onto Etsy, I actually looked up vintage frame mockups, and not too many people had these, again, because this hasn't been something that's really been done that much. But this store right here, Imagine Mockups, did give the closest ones to the vibe and did have some of the frames that were extremely similar to ones that were in Print Seekers. So we're gonna use one of these as a main photo, but we are gonna need to specify in our other photos what the actual frame looks like, just so we don't get any complaints. But I found one that I really like, and that is this one right here. We created a 4x3 art design, and that's how we're gonna print it. So now this is my design in a vintage frame, with the context being my moody aesthetic room. I'm going to open my own Etsy store. I'm going to create the store, and I'm going to upload this as a listing, and I'm going to have this as my main listing photo. But I'd be using some of the photos that Print Seekers gives you as some of your other secondary photos to give people context as to what they're getting. So you can use this photo here, which is super helpful. We have this one, which shows what the frame actually looks like very, very close up. We have this one here, which shows the different frames that someone can purchase. So if you're using only these top 3 ones, you can use the Canva erase to erase these 3 right here, or perhaps you offer every single one of these frames, which is very, very much an option. But now you may be wondering, okay, but how do I get Print Seekers to actually print my designs? Well, this is how. Once you've created an account on Print Seekers, you're going to connect your Etsy store or connect your Shopify store if that's what you're choosing to sell on. But for this, we're talking in the terms of an Etsy store. This does not work in the way that Printify does, as in you create your listing first here and it publishes to Etsy. Instead, by connecting your Etsy store, it is connecting to your Etsy orders. And what you're gonna do is when you have your Etsy store connected and come to My Orders, you can bring in and you can see your orders over here. And you're gonna click into them and then upload the product that they chose to purchase. Once your Etsy store is open, you can hit import Etsy orders, which is gonna bring in all of your recent Etsy orders. And then you can go ahead and click on one. I don't have one now to to show you and I don't want to give away a customer's personal details, but for an example, it would show up the same way as in if you created order manually. It should automatically already have the recipient's names and shipping address, but under product, you'll be able to either select a product template, which you can create ahead of time for some of your listings, or if you have not set them up yet, you can set it up here by selecting the product type. We know that this was a poster. It was a framed poster. We then have to go through some of these. So this was a standard paper product frame. You're gonna have to look back at the catalog, make sure you're grabbing the right name, but the ones that we had looked at were the vintage gold frame, modern gold frame, bronze frame. So just make sure you probably have another tab open. Grab the right sizing that they ordered as well. And then once you go through this, you're gonna upload your design image, which was that upscaled image of the Midjourney that we just created. If they have another product, you can add that. But then you can hit next, and then it's going to fulfill and send to your customer. The issue with creating frames is you have to redo it for every single frame type and for every single sizing. So if you're offering a bunch of different sizes, it might just save you a lot more time to just do these as your orders come, which is what I would do. So whether you are working on your own moody room aesthetic and want to source some of your own designs, or you want to become a seller of these, I highly recommend looking into Print Seekers. Again, not affiliated with them at all. I just really liked their frames when I found them and I had to talk about them.